Today we are going to examine the cardiovascular system. First, you have to introduce yourself to the patient and take permission for the examination. The ideal position for cardiovascular system, the patient should be positioned at 45-degree angle and make sure that the patient chest and neck are fully exposed. It means you have to undress the patient. At the foot end of the bed, do the usual inspection of the whole patient and especially look for dyspnea and edema failure, and look at the chest for any visible pulsation, chest deformities, visible veins, and previous scar mark, and look at the feet for pedal edema. Now pick up the patient hand and look for evidence of ischemia and especially assess the nerve for clubbing and splinter hemorrhage occur in endocarditis. Clubbing maybe can occur in cyanotic heart disease. Assess the clubbing with the help of card. Clubbing first appear in the index finger. And assess for ossular nodes and Janeway lesion and xanthomata. Then feel radial pulse against the edge of radius, the end of the patient slightly flexed, semi-pronated. Now feel the radial pulse per rate, rhythm and volume. Volume of the pulse can be learned with experience. Assess the rate for 1 minute. Check for radio-radial delay. Commonest cause of radio-radial delay is normal variation. Take permission, assess for radiofemoral delay. Palpate the femoral artery in the midway along the inguinal ligament between anterior superior iliac spine and pubic tubercle. With the thumb or with the finger. The commonest cause of radiofemoral delay is coarctation of aorta. Then feel the pulse against your knuckle and lift the arm for collapsing pulse in case of aortic regurgitation. हाथ ढीला छोड़ो. Now assess for blood pressure. This is mercury sphygmomanometer. The column of mercury moves up and down. If the cup is inflated and deflated in a vertical glass tube, this manometer should be placed at the level of cup around the patient arm. Wrap the cup about 1 and 2 inches above the cuboidal fossa. feel the radial artery against the end of radius and inflate it till the radial pulse become impalpable, and deflate it slowly till the pulse become palpable again. At the level pulse become palpable again is taken as systolic pressure. Now deflate it completely and feel at the medial side of biceps tendon per brachial artery and put the stethoscope over it and inflate the BP cup again. Inflate it. About the systolic pressure, that is determined by the palpatory method already, around 20 mmHg. Deflate it slowly. At the level, the throat sound become audible at first time is taken systolic pressure and deflate it slowly till the sound become muffled and disappear. At the level sound become disappear is taken as diastolic pressure. But there is certain condition in which the sound remains audible at a very low level, such as eye cardiac output failure, thyrotoxicosis, anemia, pregnancy. In such condition, where the sound is started to be muffled, is taken as diastolic pressure. Now check axillary temperature. Shake the glass thermometer below 96 Fahrenheit and insert it in the axilla and wait for 2 minutes. And meanwhile, check for respiratory rate by the visual inspection of abdominothoracic movement for 1 minute. But in case of examination setup, you count the respiratory rate for 15 seconds and multiply it by 4. Respiratory rate is 14 breaths per minute. And note the temperature. Now you have to proceed toward the neck. In the neck, assess for JVP and assess the height of JVP in relation of external angle. On the right side of the neck, along the sternocleidomastoid muscle, assess the JVP. And if the JVP is not visible, you have also do the hepatojugular or abdominojugular reflex test by pressing the abdomen for 15 to 30 seconds. And look any elevation in the JVP. This is the reliable test. JVP is the first sign appear in the heart failure and lead sign disappear in the heart failure. If the JVP is elevated, measure it by two-scale method. Find the maximal impulse, upper limit of maximal impulse. Put one scale horizontally in this position and the other scale vertically. It's the external angle. This is the external angle in this method. And measure this vertical scale between the external angle and where the horizontal scale cross it. If this distance is greater than 3 centimeter, it is called JVP is elevated. Now assess per carotid pulsation along the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle at the level of laryngeal cartilage. This is the laryngeal cartilage, this one. Palpate each carotid separately. Now auscultate the carotid per bruit. Look at the eyes for pallor. ऊपर देखें. नीचे देखें. Look downward and look at the sclera for jaundice. Jaundice can occur in valve hemolysis, and also look face for mitral fasces in case of mitral stenosis and xanthelasma for hyperlipidemia. And examine the oral cavity. Look at the dorsum of the tongue for central cyanosis. ज़बान दिखा देना. For central cyanosis. सही है. ज़बान अंदर करना. Look at the state of the teeth and oral hygiene, मुंह खोले. And buccal mucosa for sign of inflammation, petechial rashes in case of infective endocarditis, and assess मुंह खोले for eye arch plate can occur in case of Marfan syndrome association with aortic regurgitation. Now inspect the precardium and for visible pulsation, especially in epigastric region, paraesternal area, it's the apex area and in the supraesternal notch. And look for previous scar that indicate previous surgery, prominent veins and chest deformities. Start palpation at the apex and ask to the patient for pain and tenderness. सीने में दर्द तो नहीं है. Palpate the apex beat and localize it. Here is maximal impulse is felt. Now localized it. This is external angle. This is the second intercostal space. Third, this is the fourth. This is the fifth. Fifth intercostal space in the midclavicular line. Assess its intensity, quality or character of the apex beat. Either it is tapping in nature or aiming in character or normal in character. Tapping apex beat occur in case of mitral stenosis. Tapping apex beat is actually the first loud, palpable arc sound. And tapping apex beat, it's just like a knocking sensation, but it does not displace the finger. While the aiming apex beat, it is a forceful and it displaces the finger for a while. Aiming apex beat can occur in volume overloaded condition and pressure overloaded condition. The example of volume overloaded conditions such as aortic regurgitation and mitral regurgitation, such as heart failure, while the pressure overloaded conditions such as aortic stenosis and systemic hypertension. Then feel for left paraesternal hip, placing the heel of your hand at the paraesternal area in this position and see any vibration of finger. Presence of left paraesternal hip indicate right ventricular hypertrophy. Then assess at the base of the heart for any palpable P2 and thrill. If thrill is palpable, always time it with carotid pulsation. Either it is diastolic thrill or systolic thrill. Next, proceed for percussion. Percussion is usually unnecessary. Now auscultate the precardium. All 5 cardiac area, starting from the mitral area. This is the 5th intercostal space, left side of the chest. This is the mitral area. This is the tricuspid area, 4th intercostal space, close to the sternum on the left side of the chest. This is the pulmonic area, 2nd intercostal space, on the left side of the chest, close to the sternum. This is the aortic area, 1st aortic area. This is on the right side, close to the sternum. While the 2nd aortic area is the 3rd intercostal space. This is the 3rd intercostal space. This is the 2nd, this is the 3rd intercostal space on the left side, close to the sternum. First, you have to assess the 1st and 2nd arc sound. Time it with the carotid pulsation. The 1st arc sound comes with the carotid pulsation, while the 2nd arc sound comes after the carotid pulsation. And assess its intensity, character. Either the 1st arc sound is soft, loud, or normal in intensity. And assess for additional sound and murmur. In case of a murmur, make sure that you get the patient to breathe in and out to get the variation, to assess the variation in the intensity of the murmur. Auscultation begin at the mitral area with the diaphragm and time it with the carotid pulsation. This is the mitral area. सांस बाहर निकालो. This is tricuspid area. सांस अंदर ले लो. This is pulmonic area. सांस अंदर ले लो. This is the aortic A1 area. सांस बाहर निकालो. Remember that right-sided murmur increase in intensity with inspiration, while left-sided murmur increase in intensity with expiration. And now assess mitral valve for mitral stenosis in the left lateral position on expiration with bell. इस तरफ हो जाए. Left lateral position for mid diastolic of mitral stenosis. सांस बाहर निकालें। And also assess the left axilla for mitral regurgitant murmur. That is the systolic murmur radiate toward the left axilla. सांस बाहर निकाल। In case if you get murmur at the aortic area for aortic stenosis, that is the ejection systolic murmur, you also auscultate the neck. Because the aortic stenosis murmur radiate toward the neck. Now ask the patient to sit up. बैठ जाए. Now auscultate at the third intercostal space on the left side, close to the sternum, for aortic regurgitant murmur on expiration. With diaphragm. सांस बाहर निकालो. Is the patient in sitting position? Take opportunity to look at the back of the patient for any bony deformities, ankylosing spondylitis, association with aortic regurgitation, kyphoscoliosis can result into carp pulmonale, sacral edema in case of a heart failure. And percuss at the base of the lung for pleural effusion and auscultate at the lung bases for crackle that can occur in left ventricular failure. मुंह खोल के सांस ले ले. सांस ले, सांस ले, सांस ले. सीधा लेट. Now examine the abdomen for hepatomegaly, splenomegaly and aortic aneurysm. In case of abdominal examination, patient should be lie supinely, flat. ये ऊपर करते हैं. Now the patient is lying flat. We will examine for hepatomegaly, splenomegaly. Hepatomegaly can occur in case of right-sided heart failure, and splenomegaly in case of endocarditis, and then we assess for aortic aneurysm. Start palpation at the right iliac fossa toward the right hypochondrium, and press your finger on inspiration and make it steady during inspiration. सांस ले ले, सांस ले, सांस ले, मुंह खोल के सांस ले. Now percuss it. अंगुली यहाँ रख लेना. Now percuss the upper border of the liver. Start the second intercostal space. This is the sixth intercostal space. There is the dullness. Indicate upper border of the liver and measure it in the mid-clavicular line. The total liver span is 10 centimeter in the mid-clavicular line. the normal liver span is 12 plus minus 2 centimeter approximately in the mid-clavicular line. Now assess for splenomegaly. Starting palpation at the right iliac fossa and move toward left hypochondrium. सांस ले लें, मुंह खोल के सांस ले लें, सांस लें, सांस इस तरफ हो जाए, मेरी तरफ हो जाए, सही। अब सांस लें, सीधा लेट। Now assess for the aortic aneurysm above the umbilicus, inserting your finger like this manner. Now feel the femoral artery, femoral pulse in the midway along the inguinal ligament between the anterior superior iliac spine and pubic tubercle with the thumb or with the finger, and compare it with the other side. Now feel all peripheral pulses. Feel for the popliteal artery, flex the knee and insert your finger into popliteal fossa in this manner. Compare it with the opposite side. Assess for posterior tibialis beyond the medial malleolus and compare it with the opposite one. Now assess for dorsalis pedis in the proximal part of the first intermetatarsal spaces and compare it with opposite side. And assess for temperature. Any evidence of ischemic changes, and assess for pedal edema over the bony prominence. And assess the toes for curving and interdigital area and sole for evidence of ischemia. At the end of your examination, thank to your patient and help him to get redress